Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Gun Street Wiring Shop. If you're looking for a harness for your SG, Les Paul, Telecaster, Stratocaster, something else, go check out Gun Street. They've got a ton of options, and if they don't have something that maybe you think you want, just hit them up. They're great guys to talk to. Ryan got his SG set up through them. I'm looking to get my Telecaster set up through them with new wiring kits. Go check them out now. This episode is also brought to you by Walrus Audio. Ryan's going to have a new demo for their parallel boost, the Emissary, coming out soon. He's actually going to be recording that in Germany, from what I understand. Hopefully he got it today. And so check that out. The Emissary is a parallel boost, so it's got controls for both the high tone and the mid, because it's basically two boosts in one. You want a treble boost? You want a mid boost? Why not both? Go check out Walrus Audio, see that new pedal, check out our demo. It's going to be rad. Last but not least, like every episode, this episode is brought to you by Sinusoid. I got a Sinusoid cable this week in my XLR. That's pretty exciting because I'm not recording with Ryan. I'm recording with the Tone Jerks, and they have bought some Sinusoid stuff. And we're all here hanging out. But anyway, if you head on over to sinusoid.com, you can go onto their custom shop, check out what they've got, and any kind of cable you can dream up, let them know. Maybe they can come up with something that'll fit your needs. Sinusoid.com. They make cables and smiles and make you think there's a snake behind you and all those things that Ryan usually says that are kind of dumb. Hey, this is Steve.
This is Brian.
This is Kyle.
And you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding... Jesus. The guitar buying, selling, modding, breaking, reviewing, playing, some other stuff podcast.
Don't worry, we'll fix it in post.
All right. So Ryan is currently on an airplane going to Germany because he's internet famous with that giant YouTube channel that he's mostly built, and occasionally I just edit his grammar because it's awful. So I'm hanging out with the Tone Jerks.
Hey, well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for letting me bum a recording session off you guys.
There you go.
We've been talking about me coming down to do a Tone Jerks app, and I haven't been putting it off. It just hasn't worked out for me. And so finally, with this one, Ryan's like, we either need to record a triple or you need to figure something out.
There you go. I'm gone.
So I was like, let's do it. Like, let's make this real. And I figured, like,
get a couple jerks to fill Ryan's shoes. I like it. Whatever it takes.
I kind of want to call you guys the Joan Turks. I don't know why. It just is funny in my head.
You're jonesing for a jerk? Oh.
No,
I'm trying to keep it clean. I'm going to keep it clean.
Jonesing for a Turk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works. Anyway, you guys got something new?
Yeah, I guess both of us, we are in a band called Playing Without a Pilot, and we have a show coming up in about 2 weeks or whatever. It is an punk goes 80s pop night, and we play in a pop punk band, and we're doing some 80s covers. It's for charity for like Feeding San Diego, and so with that,
well, it's also my birthday.
Oh, it's also Kyle's birthday.
More important than that stuff.
Wait, what's more important, your birthday or like feeding, like people who need food?
Kyle McIntyre.
Yeah, my birthday.
Obviously. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
you get that fake ID yet?
Yeah, I did.
He's so the whole thing is, it's really like 80s songs. So like I had to model like choruses into my like, fractal system. So like there's some songs that have like chorus on the whole time. And I'm like, okay, this is really 80s. It's 80s AF. So it's like, it sounds really good. I'm like thinking about it more. I'm like, why don't I just use chorus all the time? It sounds great. Bringing the 80s back.
So you're doing a lot of Cure covers then?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you didn't want to like release a set list, but if there's a lot of chorus, then that means there are a lot of
Cure.
It means you're either doing the Cure,
yeah,
or you're doing the Police, or you're doing both.
You're doing a mashup. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I think it's like for us, we don't really do a lot of covers. So it's like kind of a mix of like, okay, having to like obviously taking a song and making it our own kind of thing. That's like what we're trying to do.
Those are the best kind of covers.
If you try and just like, we're going to just play it note for note.
That's why 311's cover of Love Song, speaking of The Cure, is one of my least favorite covers because I've kind of grown to appreciate it over time, but like I hate the fact that like it's kind of this weird like reggae-ish thing.
Yeah.
But I would have preferred them just to do like that weird like industrial rap thing.
Yeah, over
with
it
that
instead,
song.
yeah.
So like actually like the flip side is like one of my favorite covers is like Thrice's cover of Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, that
it's
one's dope.
fantastic. And like a lot of the early punk goes pop albums that I was a Fearless or the Militia Group or whoever was putting out. Those were all like friggin' fantastic because they were all bands like taking, well, for the most part, they were bands like taking these like pop songs and like making them like punk or hardcore or whatever. Like they were bringing them over
Yeah.
to their
definitely.
genre instead of like, oh yeah, we're going to do the song, but the only thing that you're really going to be able to tell is different is like it's a
singer.
different singer.
Yeah, there's like some. It's like Superchunk, "Say My Name" from Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
That cover. It's like it's an epic song. It sounds so good. It makes me really appreciate that song, and it's totally different. Like
The original
that-
sucks though.
Yeah, it's like they gave
Wow.
they gave it energy, they gave it life. I mean, it's true. I backed that up. It sucked, but they killed it. They made it their own. So I really like that.
They should have just written that song to begin with.
But you know, that's new with us. If you guys check out Playing Without a Pilot, you know, on the line on the internet, you can find all the information. But Steve, what's new with you? What's shaking?
I just signed up for a half marathon, which is kind of scary. So I've only ever ran 7 miles.
It's just double that.
Half marathon
Yeah.
is basically double that. But it's the Silver Strand half. Gonna get a little San Diego geography here. But that's basically I was looking for upcoming half marathons. I was like, oh, that sounds like it should be the flattest one. So I'm gonna pick that one.
Are you just a goal to just complete it, or you got a time in mind?
So I signed up for like the 2.5 hour group,
Okay.
which is like the more I think about it, I was like, that's hella slow.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be my first one.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, really like completion is kind of like the goal. And like, I sat down, I was like, well, this is the time that I'm currently running for like any of the runs I do. And I added like a 2-minute average mile time onto that. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's like maybe doable, but it's not till Veterans Day. So it's a while out.
Yeah, you got a minute.
But
You can train.
the bad thing is like, since I think I've like started drinking a lot more since I signed up for it, which is kind of like the opposite thing of what you want to do when you're supposed to be like getting ready to like run really far. But again, I got some time. So
Yeah.
Supposed to eat lots of pasta, I thought.
Yeah.
is that a thing? Pasta?
Fettuccine.
Yeah.
Alfredo.
It's Alfredo.
I saw
yeah.
that episode of The Office. It did not work out well. All right. This first ad was sent by the inboxer, Adam Dolhanic. It's a Line 6 James Tyler Variax JTV 89, 10th ever USA prototype. Tim Wilson made. Oh, Tim Wilson.
Yeah, Tim Wilson.
Oh, Tim Wilson. Remember
It's
that name?
$3,000. I guess, does anyone actually care about the 10th ever James Tyler Variax ever made?
Nope.
Is this a thing? Are Variaxes
I do.
collectible?
I mean,
I'm all over the place with this one. I don't like it, and then I love it.
All right.
you say James Tyler, I'm like, ooh, I'm all over it. I don't know who that is.
Oh, so are you familiar with Tyler guitars?
Nope.
Okay.
It's gonna be a nah for me, dog.
That's that
that
would be problem number one.
Steven Tyler's like side thing.
No.
Liv Tyler. She's got her own guitar company. Yeah. She's killing it. That's how the rich stay rich, dude. You just keep investing.
Just pass it on.
Yeah.
So this is a Line 6 James Tyler JTV 89 in blood red finish in excellent playing condition. It has no serial number and is identified in the battery compartment as a 10th prototype in the line, off the line in the USA made with the initials TW standing for Tim Wilson, legendary Charvel Jackson master luthier who oversaw production of the James Tyler Variax US Custom Series guitars. This guitar was formerly owned by a famous to remain unnamed artist that has seen road time with marks to prove it. But is
why don't they say? Okay,
I have no idea.
Go on.
But it has been well maintained and plays great. So basically, it's been on the road. But like, no, don't worry, it looks fine. Comes with a G&G hard case, battery, and charger. Hip shop tuners were standard on the early USA models. Date of production was March 14, 2010, which puts it a year before the JTV guitars were launched. Wildwood Guitars made the bodies and necks for the early prototypes. Tim Wilson did assembly in Apple Valley, California. Kirk Hendrick famous designer who made the Jackson Custom Shop generator guitar for Billy Gibbons.
I like how he like
most of
puts
the
like
body
he's
design.
like he's like, in case you don't know who this is, let me tell you.
Yeah. So the buyer of this guitar will be looking at owning a guitar personally designed and crafted by some legendary names. Just in case you don't know about Tim Wilson, here's some info from Wiki.
Copy and paste that.
Some stuff. Apparently, he designed the Randy Rhoads, the Soloist, and the Dinky. Then he did some other stuff that I don't care about. And whatever. Please look at all the photos and ask any questions before buying. This is not a museum piece, rather a historical USA piece for a James Tyler and or Tim Wilson aficionado. Weight is 8 pounds, 6 ounces. Number 2 behind the bridge is a removable decal. I do a full cleaning and set up on all guitars. Thanks for looking. Question number 1. Do James Tyler and or Tim Wilson aficionados exist?
Yeah, you have to be one or
So,
the other or both.
I guess are you familiar with Shure guitars?
Sewer,
Whatever.
sir. I think it's sir.
Sewer or
Sir?
sir.
I think it's
Or
sir.
sir.
Yeah,
Okay, so you are.
yeah.
So maybe 10 years ago, Tyler and Sewer were kind of like on the same level.
Okay.
And then Sir kind of like just took off. Tyler kind of just stayed where they were. And then they picked up this like Line 6 contract to make kind of like a higher end version of the Variax.
Okay.
But yeah, like the idea that any of this stuff is collectible.
I just like that it was like name drop after name drop after name drop. He even name dropped Billy Gibbons, which is like that has nothing to do with it. But it's like, oh, this guy worked for a guy who did something with Billy Gibbons. I'm like,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
won't name drop whoever famous owned this guitar and
Yeah.
toured with it to put all the marks in it. It's like you'll drop everybody else's name.
I mean, for what it's worth, like, you probably haven't heard the story, but we've mentioned it. Like Ryan and I, the first band we were in together, your favorite band, we opened for My Chemical Romance in Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
But it was like a music festival. So like we played at 5 and they played at like the 9 and 9, you know, the
That's
headliner
opening, yeah.
slot, like
That's
4
opening,
hours
yeah.
later. But we were on main stage. Like that's all that matters, right?
Nice.
Like you're on the same stage. But yeah, like whatever name drop you can get to raise that dollar value.
Yeah.
He's trying to make you fall in love with this thing.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was really well written. And then,
Especially that copy and pasted.
especially
wiki,
that Apple
wiki
Valley, California.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's from there. There you
Lovely
go.
Apple Valley. If you've ever been there. I don't think there's any apples there anymore.
But-
I'm not even. I feel like I've been there and I couldn't even find a valley.
It's out in the desert.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Joshua Tree, but where they put like a Home Depot there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the guy's like really. It's all capitals too in the title. He's like it's like please buy this guitar. The guy's like super like
10th ever made.
he wants you to be as stoked as he.
Hey, at least shipping
is.
is free.
Yeah, there you go.
Threw that one in.
That's about
Do you guys have any interest in this thing?
absolutely not.
It's
What a-
cool red color. That's about it.
I like it. It's like some of the way he words things like hip shot tuners were standard on the early USA models. I'm like, so are we to assume that this has hip shot tuners?
Yeah,
or
well,
what?
I feel like he's almost like trying to convince you, like, no, guys, you're going to look at the pictures and you're going to see like some things that don't quite look right to you. But it's okay. Those were standard originally, like
hip
in the
shot tuners were
beginning.
stock. So you should be grateful that those are on there.
Yeah, yeah. They were stock, and then they took them off. Well, yeah, because I think like the bulk of these guitars that people are familiar with were actually like a James Tyler design that were coming out of Korea.
Mhm.
But it's like, okay, cool. I guess like I feel like if you're interested in this guitar, like if you're a James Tyler or Tim Wilson aficionado, like you already know about this stuff.
Yeah, you should be
You
in
have
the
number
know
9, dude.
already.
Yeah.
You have
Like,
number 9 prototype.
The only person who wants number 10 is the guy who's like, man, I got number 14. Like, I really wish I could move up in the draft.
Yeah. But I think that's that one's toast. I think.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So this was a topic you suggested, Brian.
Yes.
and I liked it. Favorite guitar or bass or bass tone from an album.
Yeah, album or song.
And I'm trying to crank through right now, but I don't know. Do you have something loaded for this already?
I do actually. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm cheating. I got like 2 for each. So as far as guitar goes, I'm going a little pop punk roots here, but these are darn good albums. Let me tell you. So as far as guitar, it's just a really thick, like driving tone from Green Day's Dookie. Like the whole way through, it's just like a very like JCM like type of amp, just like pushed with a humbucker. It just sounds great. I mean, there's not a whole lot of like variants of like doing clean tones and stuff like that. It just seems like one just, actually basically the whole tone of that album is really great. Drums sound really live. They sound like, you hear like the room and everything like that. It's mixed really great. Anyways, and then, it's not their most, liked album, but Blink-182's self-titled. They pulled a lot of stops on the guitar tones on that.
Trying to remember which one that is.
It just, if you listen to like Tom DeLonge's not like, a guitar aficionado, but I'm like the tones on that album, it's just ridiculous. Think of like Feeling This, I Miss You.
Okay, that album.
Miss You is probably the most lackluster.
I hate all those songs.
Oh God, listen to the tones, man.
What about the tones, man?
I think that's why I hate that album, is because it's like, oh, hey, like we have this really like slick production now and the tones are really great. I'm like, yeah, but these songs are awful.
I guess for me, I record my own band, so I loved listening to like tones. So sometimes I'll listen to an album just for like the production value of it, and I'm like, oh man, that's great. If I could shoot for that in my bedroom with my band, I'd be stoked. Nobody else would be, but I would be. As far as bass, I have another not popular album from the band, but Indestructible by Rancid. He does a lot of different things with like, he'll do finger basses. He does more subby kind of things for like the kind of more like raga kind of songs. Mm-hmm. And then like with a pick, he's all over the place with that. And then Souvenir from a band called Banner Pilot. It's just a jazz bass with a pick grinding the whole way through. It sounds awesome. It's a really like in the mix too. It's very prominent, very upfront. So I highly recommend, since you seem to hate all the other ones, Steve, check out Banner Pilot Souvenir. That album is really good. All right, Kyle, you got something for us?
Yeah.
I'm driving. Sorry, Steve.
That's fine.
Can I talk, Steve?
Go.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Just make sure.
I mean, maybe like we'll see.
All right. So
you can talk as long as you don't say something dumb.
No, sorry.
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
I'm out of here. Bye.
Bye,
boys.
I picked Saves the Day, one of my most favorite bands.
Yeah.
There's a couple records actually. So actually both for guitar and bass. They're different records actually, but from the same band that I picked. Sound the Alarm and Under the Boards are very bass and drums driven. So they really lock it in, and the bass tone is just amazing.
Yeah.
So you listen to that. It's so, I don't know. I love listening to that rhythm of, I guess the way they play together, but really the grit from the bass really helps me out on that one.
Piggyback on that one. It's like you could really hear, like I'm like, oh, you had better ones than I did. I'm like, no, that one's really good. The bass tone on that one is just you could almost like hear the grinding of like the fretboard and stuff like that. It's so like it sounds like the amp is in the room with you, like the way they mixed it and they captured those tones.
It's such a great,
so good.
2 records, and then they took like a 7 or 8 year break, and they did another album. The bass wasn't as prominent, but the guitar comes back as like this. He really went to town on adding different sounds, different feels. So he has like a fuzz, very Velcro-y sounding fuzz on some of the songs, and you're like, that's a really interesting part to add to a song. You wouldn't really think of it, but it really stands out. And that's Daybreak. That album is amazing. It's, they have like their first song on that is like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Wow.
And every guitar part, every part is different.
Yeah. It was
and so he'll come in with that fuzz. He'll come in, so I don't know. It
was Arun really did a bang up job on that.
You know that guy?
Yeah.
You act like you know him.
I say him by his first name.
Arun, yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. No, that album is really, yeah, it's really good. Exactly what you said. It's like, they had a different rhythm section for Daybreak, and I think that's kind of where some of the feel of the album
lost.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. It just like fit a different pocket with the bass and the drummer. Anyways,
so that's mine.
Yeah,
I feel like mine are the same albums I always like pick over and over again.
Well, let's hear it.
Give it to me.
Bass wise is hard. Honestly, I don't listen to bass a lot.
You're breaking Kyle's heart.
I know. I don't
break you heart.
I don't listen to like music and go like, oh, that's a sick. I do say like that's a sick bass, but like the most like the albums I get the most out of bass on tend to be like hip hop and R&B albums, because from like I tend to listen from more of like a rhythmic perspective to hear what's going on,
the groove and stuff
and
like
less
that,
like
yeah.
the tones.
Yeah.
So I know for me, like the two albums that kind of like got me thinking about bass lines in a different way were Drake's Thank Me Now and Thank Me Later. Those two albums. Again, because like the bass lines aren't necessarily like, it's not necessarily bass guitar, but it's like there's like a sound there. There's like a rhythmic thing going on where, you know, there's like a misperception, I think, from people who don't listen to a lot of like R&B and hip hop, that like you hear the bass that's just like this, like boom, 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 like the club bass.
Yeah,
you hear
yeah.
club bass, and
Go on, this is
like you
educational
think
for
about
me.
like all there is club bass. But what I've kind of started tuning into was like, yeah, like your club bass, like your you
Four
know,
on the floor.
4 on the floor, or
Then you
like
have your synth
your
bass.
constant like one, you know, one,
Yeah.
one, like that's your foundation. But like the octave right above that, there's a lot more going on. Like they tend
Yeah.
to be really busy. And they tend to be like there tends to be a lot of really interesting stuff going on, like not on the foundational line, but like right above that. From like a more general perspective, I think I would probably go with thinking about like from my own playing experiences with bass, like I don't know, there's just like a lot of bands I think of like with grinding, kind of like grindy bass that I tended to go for.
Yeah.
I like which we'll probably talk about when we do the Tone Jerks episode more. But I tended to go for a lot of bass tones that weren't super deep, that tended to be more mid-range. And I just felt like that was like the more punk rock way to go. Like, but I can't think of any albums offhand. Guitar wise, I harped on it last episode. It dropped an F-bomb for it. Is Jimmy Eat World's Clarity.
Yeah.
The guitar tones on that, like across the board, are great. Another one that like I've come to like appreciate a lot from a tonal perspective as I've gotten older is Foo Fighters' Color and the Shape.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like their really big breakout album, because they just are all over the map. Like the ballads on that album are great. Like the in your face, like hard rock songs
just
on that
the
album
production
are
of
great.
it was really raw, and it was like everything about it was like really, I don't know, like so kind of not in like a bad sounding way, but it's like so dry. It's like real. It's
Yeah.
like you can hear like the resonating at the floor tones, like and it's like, you know, the whole album was like, oh, it sounds like it was like not really like leaning and fixing on anything in post or relying on post EQ or anything like that. It's just like, let's get the best raw tones and takes and everything all at once. And so that's what I really dig that. I'm on boards with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Foo Fighters are cool, I guess.
Yeah. I haven't really listened to a lot of Jimmy Eat World after Bleed American, actually.
That's okay.
And
That's fine.
that album was sick.
Yeah, that album was great.
What's really cool about that one is they self-produced that. That was like a DIY kind of thing that they did. And then DreamWorks or somebody picked it up.
Really?
So it's like that album is epic by an unsigned band. Like imagine if your band
for some reason,
put out an album like
did they
that.
do that one? Did they do that album with what's that guy's
When they
name?
got picked up, did they change the name?
Well,
of it too?
it was after 9/11. It just changed to Jimmy Eat World self-titled.
Yeah. I think like a few years ago, it changed back.
Yeah,
Bleed American.
I saw that.
Yeah. But yeah, when I first heard it, like it was Bleed American, and then
Yeah. They I mean that band, like, I mean, I've heard singles off the other albums, and it's like they are a, you know, commercially successful band, but they have like a big influence on like guitar tone and their songwriting, and that's what they really put into. And that's what when I think of like people think, oh, pop music or whatever like that, pop rock is like, that band is epic. They're great. They sound awesome.
The thing that's interesting with them is I found that with people who I know who are fans of the band, their favorite album is whatever album was the first one they listened to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're one of those bands. Further Seems Forever is another band like that, where whatever album is the first album you heard, that's the album that's always going to be your favorite album, because that's just what you were introduced to. That's what you're comfortable with. But like nothing's ever going to be better than that.
Yeah, I mean, with Jimmy Eat World, like I owned Futures. I didn't own Bleed American, so
Futures was a solid album. I'm just saying Clarity was the best album.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you don't like it, you're dumb, bro.
There's some
Quit
songs they
being
put out
dumb.
like in the last like maybe 6 or 7 years that I do like, just one song off their record.
Right.
Like Big Casino or whatever came out. But that's a band that's really good, but not really good to watch live. Just
Really?
saying. They're so boring. They're good. They're good. Don't get me wrong. But they are like,
it depends on what you're. I mean, they're at a
what you
at a
want.
level,
I guess it depends on what you want.
When
from
I
them.
saw them, they were playing arenas and stuff like that, and it was like a huge show and like tons of people there to see them, and it was just like they were super solid and they killed it and they sounded amazing for an arena and everything too. You know, how, like the
Right.
acoustics and whatever that you can like get the like cancellations or whatever sympathy notes coming back to you, and it sounds great. They have it dialed in, but they were just kind of standing there, and I was like,
no, I can see that.
but it's for me when I saw them when I was a kid, and you know
Right.
I'm used to seeing pop punk bands running around
Yeah,
and you know
yeah.
in club and
dude.
yeah bro, and I'm kind of still that way. But it's like, you know, at that point I'm like, that's not what they're there for.
I saw them like 3 years ago. That's why.
Yeah,
I tried to climb up on my bass cab once and almost died. So
Was it on wheels?
yes,
was it
actually
was like 810 or something like that? Or trying to get on top.
It was a full. It was a 1x15.
Yeah.
on the floor and a 410 on top.
Oh my god!
And because I had it set that way because the coupling between the 115 and the floor were like excellent. But the problem is that it was a 115 neodymium speaker. So that cab only weighed like 50 pounds, but the 4x10 weighed like 100 pounds. So as soon as I started climbing, like the whole thing started wobbling. I was like, this is a bad idea.
I'm gonna do
This
it
is
anyways.
a real bad idea.
But keep going. People are watching.
yeah, no.
You
They
live
paid
in
good money for this.
Oh, maybe it was only half stack when I tried to climb it. Either way, it was still a bad idea. It did not want to support my weight. Did not want to stabilize.
Yeah, I don't do that kind of thing. I'm too scared. I'm afraid of heights.
I stay on the ground.
Yeah, I only saw Jimmy Eat World at the fairgrounds once. They did one of these like 5 o'clock Fridays or whatever deals. And I went there with my now wife and her friend, and some guy came through the crowd and he was like, "You want backstage passes? You want backstage passes?" We're like, yeah. So we got to go like. They had like a gated area to the side of the stage that you could go like stand over, and it was kind of like, this is cool because we're like closer technically,
but it sounds
But now you're to
worse.
the side.
but like we're also on the side, so like you can't actually see the people anymore because like they're all facing forward.
And then sound on the side stage, depending on where you are, you can't hear anything.
Yeah,
You know, you can only hear like
the bass.
yeah, like feel the bass or like hear some guitar stage right, whatever stage you're on. I'm like, people like think of like, oh, you see a band, and it's like we saw the Ataris at House of Blues side stage. I'm like, it sounded it didn't sound good because I'm like, we couldn't hear anything. I'm like, it's cool that we're like, oh, we're hanging out with the Ataris, and it's like, I'm probably gonna go watch them from the
from like the
Yeah.
main. Yeah. Man, shows. I need to go to more than one concert a year.
more than just Hanson, right?
So Hanson's coming back for Del Mar Fair this
So you
year.
already got tickets, right?
And I told my wife, I was like, if you want to go, like it's on a Friday. So she's like, oh, it's on a Friday. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. I was like, just go. Like, if you go, I'll take it. I'll work a half day. It's fine.
Like
Like, it's
I'll
whatever.
quit so we can go see Hanson.
No, like, because I'll stay home and watch. I told her I'd watch both kids, but she's like, oh, that's weird. She's like, you can watch our younger one, and maybe like I'll take my 8-year-old. I was like, I don't think that's going to work out for you. Like 5 minutes, you should be like, how long is this?
Are we there yet?
Why is it so loud? Like they're going to be on like the 5th floor of the grandstand at the Del Mar Fair. Why is it so loud? What are they talking about?
Your kid's gonna be like, when are they gonna get to Bop? Just
No.
do it already. We paid good money.
I think it might be a free show. I think it's like just with
I
admission.
paid my free time.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with that yet. But yeah, that conversation's already happened.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going. I can tell you that. I'm not going because I already told my wife, Melissa, I was like, I've never been a fan of the fair. And we've gone a few years. We try to make it like a family tradition kind of a thing. And now my younger kid is just like too much of a hassle to take anywhere because she just wants to run around the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no point. Like one of us is going to be chasing her
How old is how old is
She's
she?
3.
Oh yeah, I have my nephew. He's at the point where he's like, go. Like he's like,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's no. It's like, oh yeah, I can run. So that's everything that I'm doing is I'm running.
Yeah.
And so I have to like hold on to him if we're gonna go for a walk or something. And then like I'm like he keeps like pulling away. He's like, no. I'm like, no. I've got my kung fu grip on you. You ain't running away from me.
There's no way she's gonna spend more than like 5 minutes listening to like some random music that she doesn't care about.
Yeah.
So I was like, you guys just go have a good time. Like I'll do the babysitting duties. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like it's your scene anyway. So I don't know. All right, man. Next topic we got. Oh no, this isn't a topic. This is an ad.
It's an ad.
This was sent by Ad Zant, Michael Van Zant. This is from South St. Louis, Missouri. This is a Wishbass fantasy fretless bass for $250. Very cool, unusual bass for sale. Something of a project. I finished it myself rather badly.
At least he's honest.
But it sounds great and plays well and definitely turns heads.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, go on.
That's it. That's the whole thing. $250.
Well, I like zoomed in on the picture. I didn't notice that stain on the carpet, and then I noticed these. He's got 4 toes in the picture.
I did not see the toes.
And then no, he's got 5. Sorry, he's got his big toe on the other side. Why? You could just easily crop that out. Just crop it out.
He took a picture with his phone and he was like, "That's cool."
He's like, I was like, I don't have.
This
much.
is like I Spy. I wouldn't even say that before.
And then I'm like the stain. I'm like, oh my goodness, that looks like piss.
Oh, count the toes.
Yeah.
How many toes do you see?
I'm like, oh god. Anyway,
first of all, fretless, gross.
So a lot of the Wishbass. Are you familiar with Wishbass?
Not at all.
when you sent this, I was like, I've never heard of this. I read it as
man.
I read it at first as like very cool, unusable bass for sale. And I'm like, oh, unusual is what it's. And I'm like, but that works too.
So Wishbass was actually big enough to get their own Wikipedia page.
Oh, dang.
Wishbass is a custom bass company located in Winston-Salem. They specialize in making unorthodox guitars out of exotic and domestic woods. Are there any other kinds?
Just foreign and domestic.
Was it? We play both kinds of music, country and western. So basically, like these kinds of shapes and the open headstock, and a lot of the time the fretless instruments, like that's kind of his whole deal. Like he'll do fretless basses with no truss rods to keep the cost down. I've always heard they play super well, but they also like he goes minimal on finishing. So like you can, to save money, you can just be like,
Finish
oh
it
yeah,
yourself.
just cut it and give me the whole thing and I'll just do the body finish myself. Like whatever, like not a big deal.
Yeah. It looks like the body kind of looks like the Spitfire skate logo.
Oh
That's
my
what
gosh.
it looks like to me. It looks like a hodgepodge of garbage. I'm not even familiar with this at all.
I've never had this problem with a bass, but if you like neck dive, I think this is the bass for you.
Yeah,
If you love neck dive,
You're like, this thing is
Because
gonna
it's so
go-
small,
the
right?
neck looks heavier than the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But that cutaway, you can get all the way to the pickup, dude.
Yeah, if you want.
If you want to,
And the fretboard goes there.
if you want to start pushing on the strings to get it on the pick guard, that's the way to do it. What are we doing? Selfies now?
Yes, I'm trying. You guys are too
So
far.
hard.
You guys are too far apart. I can't do it.
There'll be more opportunities. Hold on.
Well, we
All
can
right.
do something
set
later.
up. We'll rig up something
All right,
later.
yeah,
We still got another episode to
I
do.
will say for $250, like I feel like this might be worth taking a stab at if you're like into this wackadoodle fretless flames design.
Could be like a Joe Branton bass, I think. You might be into it.
You think it's small enough?
I don't know. I mean, if you like put a hinge on the neck and then you like fold it in half,
Oh my
it's not going to play any worse. I think.
I played some of those Stonefield basses at the Winter Nam.
Was it tight?
They're weird. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm more along the lines of Kyle. Like I currently, like my current bass is a Yamaha, whatever, super modern. But like my first 2 basses were jazz basses. So
Yeah.
like I'm a simple classic.
Well, I'm
bass
not a
design.
jazz bass guy.
I know you're not a jazz bass guy, but I'm saying like in terms of like overall design, like
You're like
I'm a
steaming.
class. Like I like the classic design.
Yeah, I got you.
Like
yeah.
modern stuff. I'm like, but like, where's the pick guard?
It's like, but with this, I'd have to play new metal or something.
But with like fretless.
Yeah, with like flat wound fretless.
It'd be new jazz
I'd
metal.
put a feather in my hat, Call it a day.
Call it macaroni. There we go.
Jeez.
You're like, oh, I'm regretting this tone jerk decision.
Why would I do that?
Oh no.
All right. You guys got anything else on this?
I think I'm.
It looks like there's a bird coming out of like one of the sides there, like a swan.
Yeah, it does.
It just
Looks
doesn't.
like it's gonna
it
take
doesn't
flight.
look like metal. It looks like a dad project that went bad.
Yeah.
That's kind of, like I said, like that's kind of the whole Wishbass thing is like.
Yeah,
kinda
You
look
take
like,
it. It's like,
kind of look like
choose your
projects-
own adventure with this one. And this one went straight to Craigslist.
yeah. Finished this one last night. Here it is, guys.
Sorry, world. I put this out there.
Putting bad vibes out in the world.
All right. This next ad was sent by Daniel Esporma.
I
It's
thought
not
we were
an
gonna-
ad, it's a topic. It'd be helpful if I looked at my notes. Daniel wants to know, what do you do to overcome writer's block? And I don't get writer's block because I don't write songs. But I thought since like maybe one or both of you do, this would be a good place to talk about it.
Yeah, we both write songs for the band. And the way it's been for the most, we've been in this band since we were like 14, 15. We're now almost 30. So it's,
Oh, you're a couple of kids.
no, we're almost 30, bro.
Up to no good, you know.
We started
Started
trouble.
making noise in the neighborhood.
So with that, I mean, for the longest time, we would each write our own songs and then bring them to the band. And then like, you tweak them a little bit. Like if he brings a song like chord structure, then I would add, whatever like different variants of chords or riff lead lines, stuff like that to
Right.
him. And then vice versa, I would have these and Kyle would like have the bass, like, my chord structures or whatever. And he'd add bass riffs and stuff like that and lock in with the drummer. And then the song would come from that. It's not like one person wrote it. But recently, like we started actually collaborating and starting songs from like almost like a musical hot potato kind of thing. I'm like, okay, I write this part, you write this part. So that's
Okay.
really cool. But as far as like writer's block, I've had that before. I'm gonna steal this one first, Kyle. Still,
Go for it.
For the longest time, like I had to really step out of my playing and really like critique myself, like figuring out what I wanted out of songs and what I wanted out of my own playing style. And it could have been seriously like, maybe I didn't like the fact that like the choruses didn't have like a hook or something with that. So I basically would write songs out and like almost like record them and then just pick them apart and
Right.
find the best parts of the songs. And then sometimes it was stepping away, I think, from the song and like really
Time heals all.
yeah. And then and then sometimes you just throw away everything and start over again. But recently, so that's kind of how I've written songs. But recently I've had like a writer's block and I was like, we finished an album, it was a full length album. I did most of the lyric writing and song producing and stuff like that. And it was 12 songs, whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm kind of done. This is like it for me. It's like a 12, song album. I think I'm done for a while. And what happened was Kyle started writing songs. He started just cranking them out. He's like, oh, I got 3 or 4 songs. I'm like, that's it, bro. We're not doing this. And I started just like boom, 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 writing songs back at him. And then that's what like was really, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just because I'm like, all right, once in my mindset, I was like, okay, I'm done writing music for now.
Right.
That triggered it. But I was like, whoa, I have something else to say. I have something else to write. I want to actually write something. I've been getting more into trying to do songs with riffs.
Right.
Like we're like chord punk driven kind of thing. And we recently started doing riffs. And those are like really popular songs that people seem to like.
Yeah.
People like the riffs with the melodies over them. And I'm like, we've never have been that type of thing of like, okay, writing a song with an idea. And so like how those have come up is just like jamming. Like
Yeah.
I personally hate jamming without a direction.
Sure.
But it's like if you actually like try something different, I think is another thing too. So I keep spouting off more and more. Kyle, why don't you say something?
No, well, writer's block, I think, can affect I don't know, if you're writing and you stop and I just jump to another song, or I'll stop, I'll change my idea. I'll keep moving on. And then I'll come back to that and try to, finish it up, or I'll never finish it. I mean, I've probably hundreds of songs I have never finished.
Yeah.
Or just, lyrics, maybe we're not just talking about lyrics,
Yeah.
but also music.
Yeah. I think for
But
us,
I just keep moving on.
yeah, for us, it's also too is like bringing these ideas to each other is actually really cool too. Bringing your idea to your bandmates, assuming you have a band, is really helpful because, I mean, that person has a completely different mindset than you do. And that's what's really cool about Kyle, how we both grew up playing music. Even though we're in the same band, we both have different ideas of writing songs.
Right.
I'm a little more clinical because I had to learn, and I was like, okay, this is learning song music theory, kind of. And I taught myself, took lessons, stuff like that. Whereas Kyle was more of a, I keep proclaiming this, he's just a natural born musician.
I'm amazing.
Which is really cool.
That's basically...
How many instruments do you play?
Every single one you can think of.
Okay.
But he's like, you know, a guy too. It's
Except
like
for tambourine. I suck at tambourine.
It's actually really cool because he'll just write stuff that I'm like, I never thought of that. I'm like, dude, you're ending this progression on a third. What? What? Are you kidding me? I would have never done that.
Start over.
But it sounds great. And so it's like we'll write songs together, and I'm like, okay. One time, I sent him like a riff that I wrote on my phone. I'm like, I don't know, this is kind of garbage. Send it to him. He's like, I love it. And he like came back the next day at band practice. Like I sent it to him on my phone, and he's like, I have a song for it. And so the song was written. He heard a riff that I did on my acoustic guitar from my phone, and we wrote a song about it. And so it's like really, writer's block could be like reaching out to other people too. Like if you are stuck, reach out to your bandmates.
Right.
Like even our drummer, we're fortunate enough that our drummer is also a songwriter. He sings, he plays guitar. He is also like produces beats and MC or whatever. He's
so what I'm hearing is your drummer is actually the most talented person in your band.
Yes.
Yeah, he's actually a really cool guy.
Yep.
We're lucky to have him.
Why am I here?
Yeah. Go find. Let's go get Brian. Another Brian. Brian Rash.
Oh, too many Brians.
Yeah, but
right.
That is a stupid name.
Can't handle that.
Yeah.
I'm shutting down.
Yeah. No, it's something really cool. It's like maybe in like now that I'm older, I'm really like more open to the idea of collaborating with Kyle. Not that we would like the whole main goal of like when we were teenagers was like, that's my song.
Yeah, it used
I
to
sing
be like,
it.
this is mine.
Yeah, and then even though it was the band,
I would add it and add stuff to it, and then like I would say, oh, what if we change this? Like, no.
And then now, we
Can't
kind
do
of
that.
throw each other ideas. Like he said, it's like, okay, if something doesn't work for me, I'll take it. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me the progression, and I will come up with the demo on Pro Tools of it. And I'm like, okay, I have this idea. And he's like, oh, this works. This doesn't. We'll copy and paste different drum parts and fills, and maybe sometimes even bringing technology into it. We're able to demo out songs and bring it to the band, and we hear parts that we want to at band practice. So there's so many different ways to write. There's so many different ways to be. It's like you can be in your own head and do them yourself, which is actually a lot of fun. If that's your project, your glamour project, your vanity project, that this is mine, only mine, whatever.
Well,
but if you're doing things as a band, like really rely on everybody else.
One of the songs Brian was mentioning earlier, we had like the music down, but I didn't have any lyrics down, and we had recorded the actual demo of us playing all together. And I just through the mic, I was just mumbling words and just kind of getting a vocal melody.
Right.
And what's really interesting is that really helped me write my words, my lyrics to fit in exactly what I wanted for that song. So I had my vocal melody. I was just like mumbling and saying random things.
Just scatting.
And it actually, I'm like, wow, that's one of my favorite songs I've ever written.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really cool as the band, that we've grown as musicians like since we were kids, and now that we're like adults, and it's like, oh wow, we are a little more competent in our instruments in our band now, and it's like we're able to collaborate with each other for like, I don't know, as writing songs. And it's really like, I can't say it better. It's a beautiful thing to create music with other people. That's what I love about songwriting. It's like, it's not just you, it's other people too. So if you're like solo thing, I'm like, get with other people and maybe like, throw ideas around. Even if you're not like, this is a song acoustically that I'm gonna do by myself, then jam with other people and just be like, okay, another acoustic guitar player. You guys throw ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, I never thought of doing a diminished there or something like that. Or like, where are you actually going with the song? So maybe even just explaining like, oh, this is the lyrics I had in mind. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then even just doing that could really spark something for you. So I think just coming at songs a different way, or even just leaving them, coming back is great.
I think that's, for me, like that's always been the problem is like, I will write like 70% of a song and then like, I just walk away.
Yeah.
And I never come back.
And sometimes that works out too. Like I'll write riffs and write songs. And to me, if they don't stick and if I don't remember them, like 4 months, 6 months down the line,
What was it meant to be?
They weren't good enough. That's it. If it doesn't stick with you, it doesn't resonate still, then it wasn't good.
Never written anything good enough.
We've dropped whole songs that are actually done.
Yeah, we've dropped I think we've dropped a whole song that we've actually demoed and it was all ready, and we had lyrics, we had everything. It was just like we came back to it
It
like
happens. I mean,
it's not. You were like, we don't like it, so we just throw it away.
Cool.
So, anyways, that's kind of we beat that one into the ground.
No, that's
anything
fine.
else you want to add to that, Brian?
Sorry, Kyle. Sorry. This is Steve's show.
Whatever. It's the people's show, guys. It's the people's show.
For the people.
So this week's episode, like we said at the top, was brought to you by Gun Street Wiring Shop. They do wiring for all kinds of guitars. They could probably do basses.
I was gonna say, do they do bass?
I think they do. I can't visualize anything on their website, but I've only really looked at their like normal stuff. And I'm sure like their whole thing is kind of like being a community.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, if you reach out to them and say, hey, like, I didn't see anything for my style of bass on there, but this is kind of what I'm looking for. Like, I bet they could help you out with something.
Okay.
Walrus Audio, they got that new boost, the parallel boost. It's got a treble control and a mid control. So you kind of have, normally with a boost, you have either like a flat boost or you have like these treble boosts, like the Dallas Rangemaster or whatever. Like, this is kind of doing both those things in one, at least from what I've read, because I haven't heard it because it technically doesn't exist yet. Except by the time you hear this episode, hopefully it exists. Otherwise, we're in trouble for breaking embargo, but whatever. And
deal with it.
And last but not least, of course, Sinusoid.
Yeah, dog.
We love Sinusoid.
Always get hyped for Sinusoid. Go check out their site. Check out the Build a Cable. That's the coolest thing on there.
Oh yeah.
Is just like, oh, what if I do this? What if I want a Gotham cable? What if I want Canary cable? What if I want the Slate cable, like in this length, in this color or whatever? Like, go check that stuff out or give them a call. Don't give them a call. Hit that chat button.
Yeah. Don't call them.
If you don't get,
they'll call you.
If you don't get Anthony, ask for Anthony. I don't know. All right. This last ad was sent by Brian Gower.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who that guy is.
Loser.
But he's apparently really loves anime.
Yeah,
Oh, this is that guy you've been talking about?
Yeah.
Who loves anime?
The anime guy.
Oh,
finally
that
here.
anime guy is here.
This is a Jackson USA custom shop anime soloist. I feel like we're talking about a lot of custom shop crap this week, and I'm just like
That's where it's at.
Yeah, dude, it's custom.
From the Red Dragon Reserve, we are pleased to offer an incredible one-off from the Jackson USA custom shop. This anime special represents the pinnacle of airbrush art. That's airbrush art? Jesus.
Yeah.
Gosh. And demonstrates a level of detail unmatched in the guitar industry. I just can't. Okay, pickups, EMG 8185. It's got a Floyd Rose, a bunch of words that honestly, like, Ryan makes me read this stuff because he's barely literate and he's in Germany. He probably, by the time he gets back, he's going to be speaking better German than English.
It's
but that's not really hard. Like, you guys,
It's almost English.
You guys listen to the show. You know what he's all about.
This is just like he's not here, so you're just trashing him.
That's what he told me to do.
I'm just following my notes,
I should
dude.
have prepped you guys.
I'm going to tell Ryan about you.
Apparently, Red Dragon Guitars is in North Carolina. We're getting a lot of crap from North Carolina this year. This week.
This is not crap, though.
It's not? Are you
Okay.
sure? Sounds like you've got an ample defense for this.
No,
You have
okay.
a horse in this race?
I mean, it's at a really attainable price, super well priced at $4,599 with free shipping for this.
Dang.
Jackson. So I found this guitar when I was searching on Reverb for my anime pedals.
Did you just go on Reverb and type in anime?
I sure did.
You better believe it.
And I was looking for that K-On full drive OCD pedal. It's on eBay. It's not on Reverb. Spoilers. And this came up. In case you guys are wondering, it's not on there. And this came up. I was like, holy Toledo, that's a lot of money. And it's all right. It's not. It doesn't. I mean, it's more anime than the one several, like maybe a month ago when you called me out on being like, this was an anime thing. Brian likes anime, and Ryan's like, what did you just say?
No. I went a little extra on that one. I believe I called you a weeaboo.
Well, that was a different episode because you did it several times.
How many times do I reference you on this show?
You're just a bully. Is kind of what I'm getting at here.
Oh, okay.
Bullying me
I'm calling you out.
for my fandom. So I saw this and I was like, okay, this is a perfect ad for the show. It's not a bad guitar. It's like, okay, like some of the inlays and stuff like that, or like the what? It's like purple and like
Like a pearloid.
yeah, purple pearloid, like frets.
Well, I think
and
that's
stuff
the
like that.
normal pearloid for these Jacksons.
Yeah, so it's not, but it's like the airbrushing. It's like it is a huge picture of this anime character, and it's like, okay, so this is my whole thing. For that price is ridiculous. Who's gonna pay that much?
You.
Any weebs don't have that much money. They're gonna be spending that money on body pillows and figures. They're not gonna be buying Jackson guitars. So who is this for?
Oh
my guess
gosh.
is like some shredder who is an anime fan. He's like wanted it, and he's like, yeah, you didn't do my character. You just kind of went on your own.
Yeah, you made up something, right? That's
Yeah.
it's not anything.
So you're saying
Not that you know of.
And so my whole thing
you're
is
saying like the person who this is marketed for is going to complain that this isn't like
it isn't their favorite character.
what's that this
It's not Sailor Moon.
why
or
isn't
something.
this the guy from Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah.
Spike, yeah. Well, that
You're
wasn't the
Spike.
question. Sorry. Spike Spiegel is his name. So my whole thing is like it's done in like a 90s anime style, which is like, okay, when was this made? It was back like what? Back in 2008.
But
So it's
honestly,
like,
this is like a wall hanger. If
Yeah.
you get it, it's a wall hanger.
But
You wouldn't want to play that.
what is
You're
your
gonna scratch
art-
off all your.
yeah, you're gonna scratch off the whole thing. And
It's
only way you-
airbrushed. It's permanent.
but it's they did it at the mall. Yeah, I mean, it looks like just like it's like a made up character done in a 90s style. So it's like, where did this come from? Who commissioned this? Like, did they actually commission that? That's kind of like too much. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I would ever play I like anime, and I would buy anime pedals, but I wouldn't put anime on my guitar that big.
That is not true, though.
Well, I put stickers on the
He
back.
puts every guitar he's ever heard. Borrow this one here. Play this is nice. Flip it over. It's got an anime like
Sticker on
card.
the back.
It's not. Sometimes they're not stickers. Sometimes you
Cards.
tape.
Yeah,
A
tape
card?
yeah.
like
And they're the
he's
character.
psycho.
Okay. Jesus Christ, this is like
Wow.
you guys are just like
He's psycho for this stuff. I just said that.
okay. Yeah, I think I probably wouldn't pay more than $1,200 for it.
All right.
That's
It's a nice guitar, though. I mean, it's a nice.
I mean,
looking,
from like a made in USA perspective,
Yeah.
like maybe this was for Jackson because custom shop stuff tends to be a little more expensive. Like maybe you could justify this. I think from a broad perspective, from like an original manufacturer perspective,
I
at
guess.
like 2,500 or whatever,
Yeah.
but certainly not 46.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like 1,200 on like a used on a resale market, like
paint it.
yeah. And then like the only reason I found it, and I'm an actual I like anime. And I only found it because I was looking for pedals for a joke board that I'm making.
a joke board,
Because I have the Miku,
right?
and then I have the Dragon Ball Z pedal by Aris Effects. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm starting down this line of like anime pedals. I need more now.
Slippery slope,
Yeah.
you know.
So I was like, okay, let me just like search for these pedals. You type in anime and you get like a bunch of Mikus
Right.
for like $400. And
Yeah,
then,
man, I'm super sad I didn't jump on that when they were all like 90.
yeah, you should have got that one.
I'm still because we were messing around with the Miku like on the last couple episodes.
It's garbage.
And the tracking on it, like if the tracking was good, I'd be all over it because it's definitely like a really cool like wah style sound.
Yeah,
And there were definitely some sounds on there where I was like, I could use that.
yeah.
But the problem is that like I'm like I could use that, but I never play a song slow enough that the tracking is going to keep up.
Mhm.
And at that point, I'm just like, if I can't rely on the tracking to like even be consistent, it's not even that the tracking's bad; it's that the tracking's inconsistently bad.
Yeah, and it'll just jump between notes. I'm like, I'm still holding the same notes. Like, and I'm like, what? Why did why did it jump from all these different like notes and octaves?
It's rough.
But yeah, it's not a good pedal. So, anyways, but the Dragon Ball Z pedal is actually really good. So, just in case you were wondering, it is good. So that's the only reason why I found this is because I just typed in. I'm like, okay, I'm not finding any more pedals. And we just type in anime in Reverb, and that was the first one that came up. I think the guy's like really trying to sell this. I'm like, no, who would buy that?
That pedal's also called the Saiyan Drive.
Yeah,
which
it's
is a
just-
cool name actually for a.
It's their
Well,
like
I mean, it's a very anime name.
it's
Yeah.
their.
It's cool if you like anime. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. We got
Cool for Brian.
got
There you
haters
go.
over here. Whatever.
I'm not
That's fine.
hating. I watched my fair share of Dragon Ball Z when
There you
I
go.
was like 15.
Like 20 episodes for him to power up. When are you gonna kill Frieza, bro?
Yeah, no, right? Like freaking 20 episodes of Ka, and it's like the next episode Ka, still It's like, come on.
Yeah,
now.
I remember that. Getting home from school, you're like, I'm gonna watch this. Oh, then nothing happened.
Yeah. You're like, oh well, better look tomorrow.
Better luck.
Anyway, so I thought it was like, I guess it's not done poorly. The art, it's huge. It's a giant piece. It's like
the whole thing.
Guitar. I'm like,
it fills up Ryan's, artwork's got to be vertical, or horizontal, or however so the audience can see what's going on.
Yeah.
So hooray, I guess.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this dude really likes anime.
Yeah. So Ryan's gonna love this guitar.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's all him.
Okay.
He would buy this. He would definitely fork down $4,600 for this.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I think would happen.
Not a bad deal.
If he didn't spend that $4,600 on Lederhosen while he was in Germany.
Just a bunch of beer while he's over there.
Warm beer and Lederhosen.
Yeah, so I mean that's all. That's my hot take on this one. It's gonna be a pass, and that's coming from an anime fan. That's gonna be a big no. It's not really even. It's done well, but it's like I don't get it. Like who would want this?
All right. Well, I mean, I guess let's wrap this up then.
There you go.
Our outro song this week is a Playing Without the Pilot track.
No way.
Yeah. From you guys. Do you know what song you're going to play?
Yeah. Actually, before we get to that, I just want to say thanks for having us.
Oh, for sure. No, you're helping me out. Are you kidding?
Well, then you're welcome.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of your show for a while. And
thank
so I was
you.
actually stoked to be a part of it. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we started our own podcast, is from like listening to podcasts. Your guys' show is one of the first ones I've listened to. So I really appreciate it. So it was like coming from like a fan perspective. This is really cool.
Oh, cool.
So,
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
it's like it's like being
We'll
able to like jam
we'll
on
flip
your.
this up sometime and have you guys come up to Ryan and I.
There you go.
Near Mesa, so.
You just get real trashy, and then Ryan's like, "Yeah, don't ever invite them." But yeah, no, thanks a bunch. And I'll intro this song. It is called My Darling. It's off of our newest album called Just Another Unsung Tragedy. It's a very surfy kind of song. So it's like every song on this album was really its own take. So some are really heavy punk and some are like, acoustic driven, stuff like that. This one happens to be a slower jam, like a surfy, like style, like Spanish style is what I've heard people call it. It's done with completely, I think, Jazzmaster and Fender Twin reverb. Super drippy, like, and then tons of tremolo.
The Jazzmaster that the dude from Teletalks is borrowing.
Yeah, he's borrowing. Yeah,
stole it. He stole it. Right,
he stole it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I used the vibrato bar like a bunch to do that surf thing. And like that's on the whole album. So if you're like probably a surf fan, you'll probably be like, "Yo, dude, you're doing that too much." But for me, I was like, "That's a cool effect that we've never done in the band before."
Right.
Anyways, that's it. And thank you guys.
Yeah, no problem. All right, enjoy the song. See you later.
Bye.
Yesterday she told me what's been weighing on her mind, collecting her thoughts and wits for quite some time. She says she has her reasons. the pain.